how big a difference will the addition of Apache helicopters make the U.S.-led coalition's fight against ISIS? And what other alternatives are available in the coming battles? To help us navigate, we have retired U.S. Air Force Colonel Cedric Leighton joining us once again. Thank you for being here, Colonel. We appreciate it. These Apache helicopters, what difference will they make?
They'll make a huge difference because Apache helicopters are uniquely designed to be close air support aircraft. They can have a loiter time that is, of course, much superior to a jet fighter. Jet fighters, of course, are not able to stay over one part of the ground on a consistent basis, whereas a helicopter can stay there for a long time, can dispense ordnance, can fire at targets very easily, and it can actually have a much better visual on the target. So the ability of the pilot and the crew to actually see the target is much, much greater than it is with a faster moving jet fighter. So from a tactical perspective, having the addition of a helicopter like the Apache is a potential game changer in favor of the U.S.-led coalition.
Okay, game changer on that front, but you still see, and you've said this, you still see the need for special forces to be used, commandos, whatever we want to call them. Why is that?
Well, I think there has to be a combination of different elements of military force. So the Apache helicopters can do one thing, and they can improve the ability of our forces, and that includes the collective of the coalition, including possible Syrian rebels, certainly the Iraqi army and others. It improves the ability to go after targets that they engage at the same time. The key question, though, is can we actually synchronize our effects, our efforts at the same time, and that is really a big issue. And it looks to me, just watching this and watching what is happening around the Syrian town of Kobani, it looks to me as if there are very serious limitations to our ability to synchronize our forces and the effects from those forces, from the attacks that those forces can actually execute. So when you look at the helicopters, they're a key ingredient, but special forces will be the element on the ground, the eyes on target, the eyes on the ground, and then plus they can take significant advantage of any tactical advantage that the helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft can provide. So you've got the special forces. You also have the capability of putting in drones over the target area, and when you use drones, that gives you another form of increased surveillance. It just like helicopters, it gives you increased loiter time, but it's a lot harder to detect a drone than it is a helicopter, and so that gives us a lot of advantages.
That's a huge advantage. Now, what about Turkish and Jordanian troops? Turkey's right there on the border, very effective army from everything we've heard. Jordan is right there in the thick of this. Can they be a big advantage in defeating ISIS?
Potentially, and of course you have the difficulty of dealing from a conventional army to a special operations contingency. Any type of terrorist organization or guerrilla force like ISIS presents some unique challenges to conventional armies, no matter how good they are. And the Turkish armed forces have some significant capabilities both in their conventional forces like their infantry, but also in their special forces. So I would see really the employment of Turkish special forces as being part of this, and I also see, of course, conventional ground forces basically doing what I would call a holding action in certain areas, grabbing certain parts of potentially Syrian territory in order to effectively go after ISIS. So you need the combined effects of special forces, regardless of where they come from, as well as Turkish forces and the Jordanian forces. And similar to the Turkish forces, the Jordanian forces have a significant capability, at least by Middle Eastern standards, that is really at the top of the list of the Arab nations. And when it comes to being able to execute operations, the Jordanians are very good. They're also very used to working with U.S. and other allies. So they have a capability that is basically right behind the Turkish capability in terms of their efforts to integrate and their ability to actually execute combined operations.
Okay, well, it looks like it's going to be very interesting, and we hope there are some successes. Thank you very much, Colonel Cedric Leighton. We appreciate your time, sir.
You bet, Simon. My pleasure.